toma control de nuestras fronteras y valora la seguridad de nuestra nación. Vamos a introducir un nuevo sistema de migración para con la jurisdicción del Tribunal.
And in Edinburgh, Cardiff and Belfast, and they will be adjudicated on by UK courts. And it means an end to sending vast sums of money to the EU. So we can take full control of our money to spend on priorities.
Vamos a tener el control de toda nuestra economía para priorizar nuestras prioridades.
£94 million more per week by 2023-24. And just this morning,
y esta mañana pude anunciar algo muy importante.
Mr. Speaker, the text we have now agreed would create a new free trade area with the European Union, with no tariffs, fees, charges, or restrictions.
Un espacio de libre cambio
between the EU and any advanced economy in the world, which will be good for jobs. The EU said that the choice was binary.
Va a ser muy bueno para los emprendedores.
The political declaration recognizes that there is a spectrum, with the extent of our commitments taken into account in deciding the level of checks and controls. Crucially, the text we have agreed also has an explicit reference to development of an independent trade policy by the UK beyond this partnership with the EU. So we would have the ability to sign new trade deals with other countries and capitalise on the opportunities in the fastest growing economies around the world. And we will be able to get on with this, negotiating deals during the implementation period and putting them in place immediately afterwards. The deal would mean we leave the common agricultural policy and the common fisheries policy. Mr. Speaker, let me be absolutely clear about what this would mean for fishing. We would become an independent coastal state with control over our waters, so our fishermen get a fairer share of the fish in our waters. We have firmly rejected
Hemos rechazado formalmente
a link between access to our waters and access to markets. The fisheries agreement is not something we will be trading off against any other priorities. We are clear that we will negotiate access and
Estamos claro que vamos a negociar el acceso.
For example, do other independent coastal states like Norway and Iceland. The trade agreement with the EU would also cover services and investment that will go further than any other recent EU agreements. And it would secure new arrangements for our financial services sector, ensuring that market access cannot be withdrawn on a whim and providing stability and certainty for our world-leading industry. We would also have a cutting-edge agreement on digital, helping to facilitate e-commerce and reduce
También vamos a facilitar el e-comercio.
And there would be strong rules in place to
y van a haber fuertes reglas.
Neither side can unfairly subsidize their industries against the other. The text we have agreed with the European Commission
Lo que hemos acordado con la Unión Europea
with a close relationship on defense and tackling crime and terrorism to keep all our people safe.
Es que vamos a luchar contra el terrorismo para mantener a toda nuestra gente en seguridad.
And there would be arrangements for sharing of data.
Habrán acuerdos para compartir nuestros datos.
The new security partnership would also ensure close cooperation between our police forces and
Nuestro acuerdo también
and we would continue to work together on sanctions against those who violate international rules.
También determina que continuaremos a trabajar juntos en las sanciones, en las amenazas cibernéticas
and the financing of terrorists.
y lucharemos contra el financiamiento del terrorismo.
The draft withdrawal agreement will ensure that we transition to this new and ambitious future relationship in a smooth and orderly way. It will deliver a 20-month implementation period so that we have time to put our new future relationship in place and that businesses have time to prepare for it.
Tenemos tiempo para preparar
citizens living in the UK and UK
la mejor
citizens living
situación
in the EU so they can carry on living their lives as before.
y la gente podrá preocuparse de vivir su vida como antes.
and it will meet our commitment to ensure there is no hard border between Northern Ireland and Ireland and no customs
No habrá
border in the
frontera
Irish
dura
Sea.
entre Irlanda del Norte e Irlanda
Mr.
del
Speaker, the
Sur.
text we have agreed is explicit about the determination of both sides to avoid the backstop altogether by getting the future relationship in place on the 1st of January 2021. And in the unlikely event that we ever did need the backstop, to ensure it is quickly superseded either by the future relationship or alternative.
Ahora está hablando entonces de la frontera entre Irlanda del Norte e Irlanda del Sur.
Arrangements and technologies which could avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland. And I'm grateful to my right honourable friends, the members for Chingford and Woodford.
Hablando evidentemente de poner en lugar una salvaguarda para evitar justamente esta frontera dura entre ambas partes.
Preparatory work on alternative arrangements. Preparatory work on alternative arrangements to avoid the backstop would begin before we leave, enabling rapid progress after our withdrawal. Mr. Speaker, I want to be very clear about the stage we've reached in these negotiations and the scale of what is
Quiero ser muy clara sobre el estado al que hemos llegado en estas negociaciones.
The UK and the European Commission. The text is today being shared with the leaders of the other 27 member states.
El texto ha sido compartido hoy con los dirigentes de las 27 otros Estados miembros.
All our efforts must be focused on working with our European partners to bring this process to a final conclusion in the interests of all our people.
Y nuestro trabajo es trabajar en conjunto para poder llevar a cabo todo este proceso.
With the governments of Spain and Gibraltar in the negotiations on the withdrawal.
Hemos estado trabajando con el gobierno de España en esta negociación sobre Gibraltar.
Absolutely clear that Gibraltar's British sovereignty will be protected, and that
Pero la soberanidad británica será protegida y mantendremos al Reino Unido una familia. Mañana y hoy estaré hablando con otros líderes europeos.
They want a good deal that sets us on a course for a brighter future.
Todos queremos que este acuerdo del Brexit esté terminado, que podamos seguir adelante y que podamos enfocarnos en las cosas grandes.
The deal that will enable us to do this is now within our grasp. In these crucial 72 hours ahead, I will do everything possible to deliver it for the British people, and I commend this.
En las últimas 72 horas estaré a cargo de avanzar lo más posible para poder llevar a cabo lo último antes de la cumbre, que se llevará a cabo entonces este domingo, ¿no?, con los otros representantes de la Unión Europea para dar su visto bueno al acuerdo del Brexit.
19 extra pages, but nothing.
Ahora estamos escuchando al líder de la oposición laborista, Jeremy Corbyn.
Is that the transition period will have to be extended, or we will end up with a backstop and no exit. It represents the worst of all worlds.
Representa lo peor de ambos mundos.
And no certainty for the future. There is no change to the withdrawal agreement. No unilateral pull-out mechanism, no concessions on the backstop, which would create a new regulatory border down the Irish Sea. Mr. Speaker, did the EU not receive the amendments and improvements promised by the Leader of the House? A little over a year ago, we were confidently told by the government that by the end of the Article 50 period, we would have a trade deal. The International Trade Secretary said it would be the easiest in human history. Instead, we have 26 pages of waffle.
Tenemos 27 páginas de nada.
This empty document,
este documento vacío
could have been written 2 years ago.
Podría haber sido escrito años antes.
Look at. The parties will explore. What on earth has the government been doing for the last 2 years?
La gente no entiende qué ha hecho el gobierno en los últimos 2 años.
Since the referendum.
Sus comentarios están provocando muchas reacciones en el Parlamento.
The Prime Minister said nothing is agreed until everything is agreed. It's clear from this document that indeed nothing is agreed.
Está claro en este documento que nada está acordado.
A leap in the dark. it falls short of our Labour's 6 tests. This government could have negotiated a new comprehensive customs union, giving certainty to business and securing manufacturing industry and manufacturing industry jobs. Instead, Mr. Speaker, they're more interested with dog whistling on immigration. I hope.
Order. When the Prime Minister delivered her statement, she delivered it to a largely attentive and courteous House. Order. I couldn't care less what somebody largely inaudibly and certainly irrelevantly chunters from a sedentary position. The Prime Minister was heard in courtesy. The Right Honourable Gentleman, the Leader of the Opposition, will likewise be heard in courtesy. If it requires the process to take a bit longer, so be it. If it requires it to take a lot longer, so be it. If it takes several hours, so be it. So give up, be quiet, behave on